give me a great pleasure and opportunity to share with you about accelerating project success via change management capability. All right, it's going to be like 1 hour, 30 minutes. I will share with you a lot of examples and content about the project success, and we will have a Q&A session like what Christopher has said, right? Now, a little bit about myself. The reason why I would like to share is I would want to connect and to share my experiences that I have had in the area of change management, which I have done with various industries, as what Chris has mentioned just now. So I'm going to have this session interactive and meaningful. So it's not like one way. You can ask me throughout the session any particular area that you want to ask, all right? So I'll be more of sharing with you my experiences in change management and also areas on project management. And if you feel that you want to have more engagement with some examples, please do let me know. All right, let's leverage and let's have this session more of a conversational. All right. Before we start, I know we don't have many people in the session, so perhaps you can share. You can on your camera, or if you're not, you can share your name, your job role, and organization, and a little bit about your expectation or challenges in change management or any areas that you would like to discuss here. All right. Okay, since Aiman is the one who has been responding to me very well from the beginning, so Aiman, shall I, with pleasure, call you? Can you share with me about your name, your job role, and also your expectation?
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Aiman.
Thanks, Aiman.
Aizuddin, and you guys can call me Aiman. Actually, I just started in this change management for about around 1 year. And expectation, I would like to hear some sort of real experience and example on how it works in the organization or in the project itself.
Okay. All right. Great. Thanks. All right. So how new are you in this discipline, the change management discipline?
Just at the beginner levels.
Okay, beginner levels. No worries. All right. So even this session, right, I'm going to give you a fundamental of change management. What is change management? How do you drive change management, and how do you integrate project into the success? Okay, thank you so much. What about others? Rose and Nuria.
Okay, my name is Nuria binti Ismail.
Hi, Nuria.
I'm also seems like Aiman Faizuddin.
Okay.
I'm also the beginner in the change management around 1 year.
Oh, very good. Okay, never mind. Maybe I think Mr. Maran RCH. Would you like to share, Mr. Maran?
Hi everyone, Maran here. Hi. I'm a consultant in the IT industry for many years, for the last 16 years, and I've done some projects in the IT industry.
I see.
And I think this session today is going to be very, very meaningful to me today because I've seen a lot of project management involvement in projects, business analyst involvement in projects, but very rarely I see change managers are involved in projects directly from the beginning. So probably, Mr. Nantha, you can explain to all of us how change management can be adding value to project management.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Mr. Maran. And how long have you been doing your consulting work? And in which industry?
I've been in the IT industry for almost 12 years, but overall I've been working for last 20 over years.
Okay, thanks. Thank you so much. I think thank you so much for everyone. I think Nuria is still on his urgent on an urgent call, and Rose I think not able to speak now. Now, thank you so much for sharing. I think we have three of you are quite beginner, and I think Mr. Maran is the one more experienced, I would say, in consulting. And Rose B, later on maybe she can share with us once she has not driving at later on. Okay, good. A little bit about our agenda today. Now, I think all of you are aware. You all come with an expectation. Some of you are new to change management, some already doing change management, or some already in the consulting field. Now we're going to look through at 3 areas. All right, not worry. I will go slow and steady. If you have any questions, let me know. All right. At the agenda side, we are looking at areas of why we're going to define what is change management. I think everyone out there always have this question of what is actually change management. We talk about change management, but how does it sits into the organization and how to manage this project or manage the change. All right. So we're going to look at change management in your context or in the context of your project. If you don't have project, it's okay. But when you are doing any projects, look at change management in this perspective. All right. Now, elements of a successful change. We talk about change management a lot, but what is the successful change? So I will walk you through a little bit of the area of concern. And last but not least, I'll share with you how integrating change management and project management will work. Now, like Mr. Maran, he has been in the IT industry for the past 12 years, right? And you do a lot of consulting. So I'll share with you how to integrate the change management in the project or projects that you are involving. Now, that's one thing for sure. And you look at the left-hand side, right? I'm going to cover 7 areas, all right? 7 areas. Let's go slow and steady because I'm looking at these 7 areas which are important when you're embarking on change management. All right. So far are we good? Is it okay? Aiman? Yeah, I think I need to go talk to Aiman. Aiman is the one responding, right? Yeah. So I'll go slow and steady. So if I have any questions along the way, please do stop me. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to make this one interactive, not only one way of lecturing. All right. So we talk about change, Aiman and Nuria and the rest. The change that we are going to is very big, all right, and it's fast and getting more complex and all interconnected. Now you look around, organizations are changing, and those who are not changing as fast as possible or as well as possible, they face challenges. You know, in my experience conducting this program and also doing consulting for clients, right, many times they are struggling. Businesses are struggling because the world out there are changing drastically. All right, customer satisfaction, expectation, sophistication. They want faster service, a more reliable service, new technology. You know, now with the COVID-19, all right, it has accelerated the change. Now the question is that, so what? Change has been happening for the past 20 years, 30 years, and also is happening now. So the question is that when change is happening out there, what are the controls that you have in your organization to manage the change? Now, when change happens, right, it forces companies to change, right? When companies forces to change, how do you know the company is surviving and operating? Very simple, through a project. That's the focus today. We're going to look at when companies are changing because of the change in economic and also in terms of the IT. How does the company changing in terms of developing more projects? They need to have more projects. So projects are getting bigger and more complex. Now, like those days, we're talking about changes only impacting one unit or one department, maybe installing a particular software in your company. But now the changes are happening, not only one unit, we're talking about division, we're talking about departments, various departments, and also talking about a regional basis. So in a nutshell, changes are happening and you need to be able to be adaptable and to be competent in managing the change with a proper structure. All right. Now, so very often we think about change from one perspective. We talk about, okay, ERP. If you're not okay, I think maybe Mr. Maran knows about the ERP, right? ERP or SAP. We're talking about cultural transformation, how to change people, how to develop a value system for the new company or new organization. Then customer experience, as I said, many things are moving out there. Customers want faster service, speedier service, more technological enhancement. So all these things are changing, but we always look at the organizational. But how do we look at a project per se? How do we manage the project to achieve that outcome? Now, when I say project, right, when you see in your company like Aiman, I think your organization, Nuria, and also Rose with the Coca-Cola, right? I believe there are a lot of projects also happening there in Coca-Cola. And Mustafa. Oh, Mustafa is here. Mustafa, may I know which industry are you from? Good afternoon, Mustafa. May I know which industry are you from? Okay, I think maybe he's driving as well. So again, you may come across all these changes that's happening around you. Now look at your company. Look at your organization. What kind of changes that's happening in your organization? You can look around whether it's a system, whether it's a process, whether it's the people. So regardless of where you are or what company you are operating, definitely there'll be changes happening. Now the question is that, what is our role as a change manager or even as a project manager or even as a consultant? So we look at that perspective, right? Let's define. So before we move further, I know a lot of people have a lot of questions about change management. Normally, when I do training or workshop or even engagement with the client, it's quite surprising that we need to identify, we need to define what is change management is all about. Now, change management, as simple as it is using a process and tools to lead people, to achieve that outcome. Very simple. All right. We are not going to talk about the project management, but we're going to talk about how change management can help your organization to achieve that result. Then on the other side is that you're talking about project management. It's a discipline that you follow. Why? Because the business is changing. The world outside changing. Business has to change, and business have to come with the projects. And for the projects, you need to have a project manager. So project manager will follow a certain processes and tools to achieve that criteria, a business solution. All right. So we're going to look at change management and the project management, how these two are working together to achieve that result. All right. So we have Satish Kumar joining. Thank you so much, Mr. Satish. We have just started and going to the definition of change management and project management. All right. As I move on, please ask me questions if you have anything to ask. All right. Good.
Now, okay. Thanks. Sir. Right.
Thanks, Satish. So Satish with Petronas Digital, right?
Yeah, I joined Petronas Digital about a month ago.
Excellent, excellent. And you are in the role of a consultant in change management?
Yeah, I'm a senior consultant with senior change management consultant. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. Just for information, there are a couple of participants here. We have one consultant, Mr. Maran, and the rest are quite beginners. And of course, we're happy to have you, Mr. Satish. It's a kind of it's appreciative of your presence. And Encik Rozaimi, yeah, I think Encik Rozaimi. Thank you for joining. So I was just sharing about the changes that is happening, internal and external, that's driving companies to change. And when in the process of changing, they have to develop projects, and the projects is intended to achieve an outcome. All right. And I just made the differentiation between change management and project management. And now you look at the companies like, for example, maybe Coca-Cola, or maybe even Petronas Digital. I know Petronas got a lot of projects, right, Satish? We have a lot of projects, supply chain, logistic projects. And Petronas is one of our clients as well. I've done a couple of projects for Petronas. I think quite interesting, quite challenging. And this particular slide, I would like to share with you that when companies or organization changes from where you are and where do you want to be, we want to realize our benefit. And every project, we want to see an outcome. Nobody wants to do project for no reason. Nobody wants to spend money and spend time doing projects. So there's somewhere that you want to achieve in your organization. So what are we looking at here is, when you're doing a project, the ultimatum is that the employees that are working in that company or in that organization, they all need to adopt or embrace the new behavior. So companies does not change. I think you all know very well, right? Companies does not change. The people in the company that makes a difference. You see, you can see a company, right? It's just a building, it's just a corporate value and culture. But end of the day, the people who are there makes a difference. Now the question, if we with all these things happening out there, changes are being accelerated, how do you want to achieve the success? How do you want to achieve the outcome that you want to, you already intended upfront, all right? So we look at moving individual. So the C stands for current state, all right? T is the transition that you go through during the change process, and F is the future state. Now, many at times, when certain system or processes are being introduced, right, from the current state, people want to change to the future state, because future state is where you're going to reap the benefit, higher revenue, higher outcome, higher profit, better customer retention and satisfaction. But in the transition is where, when you do not support people in the process, you're going to lose them. So when you lose them, you are going to affect the productivity and also their contribution, and the future state will not be what you expected. Now, this brings you to another phenomena of having a change management. Is it important, or is it can be like, no, you can just continue with your processes without any change management? Now, this slide is quite interesting because It gives you a graphical view of if you have a change management methodology or framework, you'll be able to achieve your success. Put simply, everyone wants to change. Every organization wants to change. Everybody wants to be number one in their market. Everybody wants to be the best in customer service. Everybody wants to become the best produce the best product or best offering in their organization. But having said that, right, having the mindset of where do you want to be is very important. Where you are, for example, the current state, to move to the future state, you need to have a proper transition plan with a proper methodology where change management will come into perspective. If the change management is not in place and you don't have any plans, your transition is going to be longer, going to be a roller coaster ride, and your future will not be achieved as what you want or intend to be. Now, this might look very simple, right? But again, any organization which are very serious of managing and leading the people, they will focus on the change management in the organization to reap the success. Why do I say? Because from my experience with many clients, right, or many organizations, the focus is whether in Malaysia or in Southeast Asia, the focus has been always on the project, always on the project management, and less on the people side of the change. So the purpose of this webinar is to share with you the importance of change management and how do we integrate change management with the project management for success. All right. So far, any question? Aiman, Satish, or Ruzaimi? I want this one to be interactive here.
Yeah.
Okay, so far, any questions, Satish or Aiman?
No, sir, not at the moment.
Okay, good. So I will go as slow as possible. I know it's a webinar. It's only 1 hour, 1.5 hours webinar. If you have any questions, I can share along the way. All right. Good. Now, consequences of a sweet cheese future state, right? Now, as I was sharing with you earlier, all right, when you have change management, what happens? When you don't have change management, what is the consequences? These are the consequences. Now, lower ROI, history of failed changes, unachieved improvement, and not what we have expected for. Basically, these are the 4 areas that you and I can see. But when you go and work in any organization or even your companies, right, there are so much of, I wouldn't say wastages, I would say that unutilized resources for achieving the desired outcome. See, many companies, right, they waste so much of money. Right? A lot of investment done, but end of the day, the result is not achieved. Or rather, the result is not what they expected. What is result? Why am I talking about result here? Now, your company is spending time, spending money, developing a business solution for the clients. But end of the day, when your employees are not changing, all right, to the new behavior or the new system, then the organization is not going to change. So you can see lower ROI, and perhaps your company has been going through a lot of changes, but nothing happened. And a lot of people have left, or new people come in, they see the company is not changing, people are not changing, all right? Yes. Yeah, I will take your questions shortly. Thank you so much, Mr. Rozaimi. All right. My colleague Christopher will pick up the questions. I will have a half an hour or even maybe about 20 minutes of question and answer as we move along. Thank you so much. Now, what is the keyword here? What's the keyword here? We're looking at employee adoption usage. This is the keyword, all right? The purpose of managing change in an organization is two-pronged. One, driving the project, but to make sure that the people in the organization are adopting and using the new behavior that affects or creates the results that is intended, all right? Now, when we talk about change management, we only talk about 2 points, right? Adoption and usage. The question is that, how do I do that? How do I do that? Understanding the change management, okay, very theoretical, very conceptual, but how do you put into practice in your organization when you're doing a project? All right, we'll go through that. Okay, this slide is quite interesting. Those who are the project manager, always they come and tell me, Nantha, now I see what is the importance of the change management. Because for project manager, okay lah, right? Any project manager here? I supposed to have about two of you as a project manager. Any project manager here? Except for Mr. Marin. No, huh? Okay. Now, when I look at this slide, right, when you look at this slide, number one, you have to look at is that why are we changing? Reason for change, very important. If you don't have a reason for change, there's no point the companies are going to develop projects. Projects are a way of demonstrating that things are changing in an organization. I repeat, yeah, projects are representation or demonstration of what the company wants to do to survive, to change, and to become whatever that they want to be in their organization. So, for reason for change will lead to success. But let's see what's happened in between, right? For every to addressing any problems or solution, we need to have a technical side, which is the project manager or project management, subject matter expert. They look at the technical side of it. For example, there's one company, they want to create a e-procurement for their organization, all right? E-procurement and plus e-logistics. They want to develop that. So what do you do? For the survival, the company, okay, why this company is a local company lah, local company. They are in oil and gas, but not Petronas, someone else, all right? Oil and gas, they want to do e-logistics and e-procurement. So there is a business need for that, all right? And they implement the system. How do you implement? They get the technical team to come with the project charter, right? The project charter, then sourcing, scheduling, scoping, right? Resource management, risk management. So you look at design, develop, and deliver a solution. Why? With the e-logistic and e-procurement, they'll be able to enhance their supply chain. They will enhance their performance and for the revenue generation by minimizing the cost. Now the question is that when this company was implementing, when I asked them, did you have a plan for change management? They said no. And I said, why? Because our project managers are very efficient. They are very good. I said, okay, very good. But do you have plans for managing people side of the change? They say we focus on technical side. We focus on the system, the IT installation is output based. Okay, but then I asked them, what is the success rate of your project? They say sometimes we don't measure the metrics. We don't have the adoption rate. I said, would you like to have it to make sure that your project successes achieve the timeline, achieve the budget, and achieve the goal? They say, yeah. I said, that's the reason why one of the participant was there in the session. So looking at focus on project, you need to have an equal emphasis on the people side at the bottom. So people side is basically how you equip, you adopt, and you encourage people to use your new system, the e-logistic and also e-sales, e-procurement. All right. So when there's a change happens, there are three areas: current state from where you are, and future state where do you want to be. Because future is what you want: higher revenue, higher profit, lower cost, better technological changes, and become more competitive in the market. So only when you have a project management who are efficient and change management to support the people side of the change to use that the new system, you'll be able to achieve that success. All right. So the focus here is two-pronged. One, the technical side and also the people side. Why am I showing you this? Because from my experience in many clients in Malaysia and also in Southeast Asia, the focus is not so much earlier, but now the focus on change management is keep on increasing. All right. Now, this is one of the framework that change management proposes that we are using currently in our organization. Right. We're looking at three-pronged. One is the leadership. This is called a Procy change triangle. I would like to introduce a little bit model in change management. All right, we call it Procy methodology. All right, and this is some of the areas that we can look at. How do we manage our change management? Now we have a bosses there on top, leadership, sponsor who drive that project, who sets direction, who tells us, guys, we need e-logistic, we need a new business processes, we need a new technology or new apps or new software, even as simple as of any installation of a new Microsoft programs, right? So the leadership is the one who set the direction, all right? And at the project management side, these are the person who always come out with the project charter, the budget, the schedule, how many people I need to have, when is the task, when is the deadline, now how to close the project, right? And more importantly, they look at kickoff and also the go live. All right. I think if you're in the project management, the two favorite word you always come across is that kick off, go live, go live. All right. And the other side is that change management. Now, this triangle is a simple Procy change triangle to demonstrate to you, all right, the importance of project and change to be interchange. All right. So project management look at the people side of the change. No, the question is that what they do. Okay, Nantha, I know what project manager will do. All right, manage project. They use certain principles and tools, to develop the solution for the business. But change management, what they do? Change management are the guys who comes out with a not training plan. Listen carefully, it's not training plan. When you say change management plan, many a times people think it's a training plan. It's not. All right, change management plan are plans that to support and to engage your people to use the new systems, to use the new methods, to use the new application. All right. Okay. So quickly, it's a bit about the likelihood of change outcomes. Now, this is a survey done, not from Google or anywhere. This is a survey done by one particular company, which is a Prosci change management company. They do survey every 2 years once. In the past 20 years, they've been doing survey and they got these best practices. Now, this best practices says that the likelihood of you and I to achieve our outcome is very high if you have a good change management plan. All right. Now, having a plan is one. Implementing the plan is another. So when you have a good change management plan, the likelihood of achieving the project is there. So if you're a project manager, if you are involved in projects, if you are a change manager, if you're a change consultant, like Satish, senior change consultant, right? And also Aiman and the rest as well. If you are in the discipline of change management, your focus should be helping that project manager, helping that organization to achieve the outcome. All right. So this the first one was the project objective. Then we look at the budget and also the schedule. All right. So if every project, like Mr. Maran involved in a consulting in project, right? What are the key project objectives that you always work for? Mr. Maran, when you work in a project, right? You have been advising clients in IT projects. What are the main focus when you are starting off a project? What you plan always to achieve? Yeah, Mr. Maran? Is Mr. Maran's speaker is off? Mic is off. Mr. Maran, I think your mic is off, Mr. Maran. Okay, yeah. Thanks.
Sorry, I got disconnected just now. Sorry, didn't get the question.
Okay. I was just sharing about the having a change management in place that will achieve the project outcome. All right. One of the project outcome is meeting up the project objective. All right. So coming back to your consulting of IT projects, right? What are the objective or goals of any project that you always start off with in your organization?
Straightforward, right? I mean, normally the project should be within scope, within the time limit, and within the budget. These are the charter for project management.
Excellent. So having that in mind, right? So the change management, when there's a change management in place, it will achieve the objective that you intended for, and it will bring about an achievement of your budget. You can achieve your project within budget or even under budget, and also in terms of timing. So anyone who doing project, whether you're directly or involved or indirectly involved in the projects, the main area we look at your goals, your budget, and also your schedule. Now, many people don't have a measurement or rather a proper platform to do this. So the change management that I'm going to share with you now, having the change management in place, it will achieve the objective of your project. All right. Now, change management goal. Now, many people have this not so right in their definition. All right. It is not about communication and training plan. We're going to drive the project benefits by driving the people. I repeat here, we're going to drive the project objective benefits by driving the employees' adoption and usage. That's it. So our focus is the people, not the project management parameters. So as a change management, we look at how we can do this with our employees. So it's not just a communication. Many times I've seen even a pharmaceutical or even manufacturing, right? When I ask for change management, they say, oh, Nantha, yes, we have a plan. I say, okay, show me your plan. You know what they show? They show a training plan. They show a communication plan. I say, is this what you call change management? Yeah, this is what we have been doing. So if you're doing that, your change management structure to influence the people will not be sufficient. All right, share with you what actually change management is all about. All right, so it's not only managing resistance and also not making everyone happy. All right, so when your people are, it's not easy to make everyone happy. But even if you do so, it doesn't mean that you're achieving the project objective. So the key point here is that driving adoption and usage to deliver project outcomes. All right. Okay, I'm going to cover briefly on the 7 items, not in detail, but these are very much image-based slides. I will share quickly and let me know if you need any clarity as I move along. All right. So we start with intent. Every project has an intent. Otherwise, I was asking one company. This is I think more of a hardware company selling hardware and also software IT applications. So I was asking, what is the intent of your project? No, you want to make sure that you can become number 1. Okay, all right. So do you have any change management plan in your organization? They have, but they get the project manager to do the change manager role. I repeat, they got a project manager to do the change manager role. All right. So the question is that how competent is your people to do their part? All right. I'll come to that later on. All right. So having an intent of change management is very important because the focus would be to drive and capture the portion of project that depends on people. Very simple. Every project is to drive outcome, to achieve objective. But what makes you to achieve the objective is when your people adopt and change. That's the keyword. What's the point of you producing something that people are not using, right? So here talking about 2 objectives, your company objective and project objective. You need to define 2, all right? And organization benefits is what your company achieve to plan to achieve. Like for example, I want to become a number 1 in Southeast Asia. All right, we are the number 1 supplier of this application. We want to be the best logistic company by taking 30% of the revenue. Now, these are the benefits or goals that your company would like to do. Yeah. A lot of keep coming with the questions. All right. You can, if you have any question that you want to answer now, you can raise your hand. I can answer. All right. Otherwise, I do the Q&A later. Okay. So project objective is what specifically the project would want to achieve. All right. Now, for example, 40% of cost reduction, 20% of revenue generation. So your project objective is very specific. Now, your organizational benefits and project objectives will lead to a future state, what your organization wants to become. Now, whatever that you want to achieve depends on the individuals in the organization. If you see the F in the small boxes, right? That one shows that every employee in the organization need to change to achieve your objective. Okay, why are we changing? All right, again, I think you can look back at maybe Satish can look back at the Petronas and Aiman and Rosnita, right? These are some of the reasons that why are we changing? Revenue, cost, profits, efficiency. I was having this session with one government sector. All right, so of course they are not going for revenue. They say, you know, Nantha, we are looking at efficiency. All right, we want to deliver the best service to the rakyat. All right, how? By ensuring that we have a proper change management plan in place to support the transition. Right, so safety. If you are in oil and gas or even in a healthcare industry, you also look at the safety issue. So these are some of the areas why we are changing. Now, look at the triangle. Look at the triangle. The one in the center of the triangle is what you want to achieve. All right. So the project manager and change manager and the leadership will work together to achieve that objective. Now, project objective, all right, and the organizational objective, like what I mentioned just now, specifically about the project. What does the project wants to achieve? What are we solving? What problems are we facing? What are the opportunities we want to reap? Very specific to the projects. It is where when you implement the change management inside the project, you will see the benefit, right? Now, many projects, right, they are not achieving the intended objective mainly because they don't really spend much focus on the people side of the change. All right. So we're going to see here how both of them can integrate to bring about a good outcome. And the other one is that company's benefits. What do your company gain? So if you are a change manager, if you are a project manager, or you're a business owner or business leader, ask yourself, why are we doing changes? There must be a reason. And that changes must be demonstrated in the project and also the organization. Some example. All right, so many companies do CRM, ERP, SAP, all right, business processes. So there are so many reasons why people change, company changes, right? So for example, for the company level, you want to increase revenue, improve operational efficiency, or improve customer service, right? It's a very high level, but you can't see it, you can't crystallize how the company wants to change because the senior management set the target, come up with the goal, come up with the balance scorecard, those who have done balance scorecard. Project objectives, very specific, very target, what I want to achieve by when. So increase revenue with customer segment by 45% within 3 years, for example, all right? Reduce customer acquisition, then improve net profit. So these are the project objectives. The question, how do you achieve this? How do you achieve this? As long your people don't change, you're not able to achieve your results. Put simply like that. So change management and integrating with the project management would lead that outcome. All right. So this is the ROI. People always ask me, Nantha, how do I measure ROI for my project? How do I measure ROI for CM change management? Very simple. Now, if you look at this one, it's not easy as how it looks like. This is a high level. But if you are in that, if you're doing that function and that role, you need to know what's the project benefit when you're doing project charter. All right. And you look at what is the benefit of the project, what is the dependent on the people using that software that you are developing, and how does this success depends on people. I repeat, if you are developing a project, you want the project to be successful, you need to make sure that you give enough emphasis to the people using that application. All right. So every project that you produce, or in terms of system installation, ERP, CRM, a new processes, a new methodology, when you implement, always have in mind that people need to be changing the way they do their work to realize the benefit. We spend so much of money and time and investment in developing project or to introduce the project into the organization. But when people don't use the particular system, then what's the point? Like in this case, the oil and gas company I was mentioning, they developed this e-logistic, all right, to smoothen up the logistic process and supply chain. But the staff, the employees were not prepared, were not supported to embrace the change. Now the question is that, why must I do that? I developed a new system, I invest money, let them use it lah. So that's the problem. So you need to have a plan how to ensure that people are using. Now the question is that, how do we prepare people? So we will introduce you another concept in change management, all right? So objective change management, very simple. You need to look at adoption and usage to drive project results. Your project manager can be competent. Your project manager could be a very good skill in managing projects. But end of the day, who is this project for? The project is to develop a new system or a new technology or new application, but your employees are not using it. So how are you going to see results? So like to say that, like the project on e-logistic, right? The staff was not using it. Very minimal people were using it. A lot of problems. There were no proper communication. There were no proper training given. There's no proper coaching given. So a lot of things happen in the process where people, the employee, did not see the reason why they have to change. All right. So I'll touch a little bit more on the need to change and how to help people to change. All right. So we're going to create a customized and scale approach. This is okay. One of the change management methodology. You need to have a plan. And third one is that you need to have a strategy. I'll share with you a little bit on the approach. Okay. Now again, we have seen that individual change and also the future state. Right. What is meant by adoption and usage? Any opinion that anyone has? As you can see here, right, there is no universal definition when you use and adopt. It depends on your change and how it impacts on people. If the employee have that understanding, why must I change? and they have the desire to change, and they got a knowledge to change, and they will change. All right. So it speaks about employees changing the way they are doing. Like for example, the e-logistic, right? Earlier they were using manual, and when it changed to e-logistic, they have a new system, and they don't see why. Hey, why are we using new system? The manual is okay. Why? I know taking a little bit time, but it's no issue. Why? No one. Why must we change? So when people don't understand or realize the need to change, so they won't have the desire to change, and they won't change. So we need to have a proper plan in supporting people. So that's what I'm going to talk to you about. How do we manage the people side of the change to achieve that result by supporting the project management. All right. So this briefly to give you, I'm not going to go in detail, not to worry. This is only a webinar, all right? This is what the impact of change will happen. Like for example, the e-logistic, right? It's changing, affecting the process, the system. Now I would require someone, administrator or technical staff to take care of that software. All right. So reporting structure will change. Compensation, I may require now one person to do overtime. Location, I may want to close few logistic hubs and also bring it to the central hub. So job role. So these are the aspects of change that can impact individual. So why am I showing you this? This is an important factor because this we call impacted group. When any project is implemented or any system introduced to the organization, all right, it will, one way or another, will impact certain aspects of your job. So all these things you have to have back in your mind. So when I implement this in my work, in my organization, it's going to impact the system. It's going to impact the job role. So you need to identify to what extent it's impacting so that you can plan for them. For example, there's one person in the e-logistic, right? There was a group of people were rejecting, they don't want to use it, all right? So it goes to the mindset and attitude, all right? They don't want to use it because they feel that they have gone through a lot of changes, they've gone through a lot of systems enhancement in the past, and it's all waste of time, and they don't feel the value. So how do you do that? So when you come across this situation, that's where you need to have a plan, a proper change management plan to tackle that issue. It's all that's on the methodology, right? So what I'm saying is that understand who are being impacted, how to prepare to support these people to manage that situation. All right. So scope basically looking at whether is it going to be impacting one department, or you're going to be impacting the divisions or regional. All right. And when you identify the impacted group, your scope will be different. Maybe you want to have your communication about the new system, communication, maybe some people do communication via face-to-face, or some with a webinar, some with a workshop, all right? And sponsor is basically talking about the leaders, business leaders. People manager are the supervisor of the direct employee, and also training. I'll share more about these practices shortly, all right? So the keyword here is that understand who are being impacted, in what way they'll be impacted, as I showed earlier, the diagram, and you must have a strategy to help them, and you must have plans to support them. This is to create your adoption and usage. All right. So the how does this project management and change management integrate is very interesting. Project management look at the technical side of the people of the project, and also the change management look at the people side of the project, right? So both of them come together to achieve that success. Again, successful change requires the two components, right? Work stream. Now, those who work in project management, right, you always know that there's always a stream to work, all right? You will have a work stream for your project, milestone, all right, the critical part. Now, the focus here would be whether you're using your technical solution or your people solution. There's always an output to derive. Two outputs. If you look at the last column, the box, it shows that individual adoption and usage. Now, I've been keep on telling individual adoption and usage because in creating a project success, a project is successful when the employee in the organization adopts and use that particular new system or behavior. Unless nothing happens, all right? You're going to have a lot of struggle and challenges if you don't have a plan to support these people. The other one is that project results, outcome, benefits, value. So when the project produce results and outcome, it's not only independent, it's dependent on how people are changing and using the system, right? Now, a little bit about Milestone. You can see, I mean, those who are well versed with the project management, right? I'll talk about the waterfall model and also the iterative model, all right? I would like to introduce you Procy Agile Model, right? I've been speaking about people changing, supporting them, facilitating them. Now we need to have a method, we need to have a model, and we need to have a methodology, all right? So here I would like to introduce you a methodology called EDCA. All right, EDCA is a Procy change management methodology. It is to assist or to support organization to help their people to change. I repeat, yeah. EDCA is individual change model. Individual change model. Why do we use EDCA? It is a model that will help organization like you and I, organization to help people to change in their adoption and usage. All right. For example, you know, the e-logistic I mentioned just now. All right. If the staff doesn't have the awareness, they'll be asking question, hey, why are we using the e-logistic? The normal process is okay, what? Previous system is okay, why? Previous system is doable, why? Why we have to go and learn a new one? They'll be asking in terms of awareness, why are we changing? What's the need for the change? What's the nature of the changes? And what's the risk of not changing? So that's awareness. So awareness basically is the first level when people always ask question, why must I, why? Why? So as a change practitioner or change manager or someone who are in charge in the change initiative, you need to provide that information by communication. All right. So your communication is vital in any change initiative. Then you talk about desire. People must have the desire, or they must always ask what's in for me. So in this company, right, the employee was asking, okay, I want to do it, but what's in for me? Do I really want to use the system? Okay lah, my boss is telling to use, but I'm not so comfortable because I don't see what's in for me. I'm still staying back every time the new system is introduced, but what is it in for me? So we need to engage our supervisor and our business leaders to increase the desire for the employees to participate. Knowledge is okay. I know why are we using the e-logistic software, and okay, I can see the value behind it. I know that now my work is becoming more productive. I can see the value of the new system, the web pages, the landing pages, the login, all very easy. So I can do it very fast and increasing my efficiency. But the question is that, how do I learn? This is where the knowledge comes in. So the organization having a proper framework, they'll provide their training, provide coaching, provide the assistance, and provide the support. So now that you know how to use it, the ability is you're using it. So unless you have A, awareness, D, desire, K, knowledge, you are not able to demonstrate the behavior. And once you demonstrate it, if you have any problems, you have your supervisor to coach you, your buddy to help you, and also even a technical team to support you. By having the ability is where you can really see the system that's being developed and to be used by the employees. Employees are using it to the maximum. All right. So the last one is reinforcement. What is reinforcement? I was talking to this client, you know, they're spending a lot of money in this project, but they say, Nantha, after they invest the money, after they do the project, once the staff is already using the new system, they don't really follow up. So what happened is that when you don't have a reinforcement, you don't have a proper mechanism to track their performance, to measure their performance, to continuously sustain their behavior, they'll fall back. It's simple, right? Human being human, people being people. When people don't watch and people don't monitor, they go back to their old way of doing it. This is what we call basic human nature lah. Hey, nobody seeing, hey, nobody watching, so I just go back to use my old system. Also, there was one case where the company changed the way they use documentation from the manual and hard copy. Then now they use purely digital documentation, digitalized document. So in the beginning, everyone was doing it. This one particular company, all right, it's software company. They were using the particular process, everything digital. No need to have a hard copy documents, SLA, all hard soft copy now. They were using it, but after some time, when they come across some problems with the access and also with authority channels, they go back to their manual. They use the paper and they use the Microsoft Excel sheet. So there's no proper engagement. There's no proper sustainment plan in action. So EDCA, just to introduce you, if you have heard EDCA, it's okay. If you have not heard EDCA, also okay. You can go and Google and see EDCA. What is EDCA? Individual change model that supports individual in an organization to change, to embrace the new behavior. All right. Now this EDCA on a page, awareness, desire, knowledge, ability, and what does it mean? Don't worry, we will be giving you the slide, all right, for you to get more understanding of what is this. And this is only a webinar. I have a basic understanding, and we can explore further to see how you can enhance your role as a change manager or a individual in that organization. All right. So EDCA, as I said, is the individual change model. Change happens with one person, and same 5% or 20%. Everyone is the same. So you might be asking, hey, Nantha, how do I spend time and money with one person? How do I know my employee is okay, aware about the system, have the desire, have the knowledge? No, you can't do that. You know, we have a lot of people, a lot of employees in our organization. Then how do you change? So this model is very interesting. All right, it's under the readiness assessment. All right, this model is very interesting because it will help you and it will show to you that in your division, in your department, how many groups are there, impacted groups, when the system is implemented, and what is the level of their awareness in a group base. So we cluster by group. For example, you may have 5 divisions, okay? Finance, HR, IT, production, and operations, all right? So you have 5 units. So you administer this EDCA. It's a link, it's an application, all right? You know, don't do manual. Please don't go back to manual. All right, it's a URL that you give a link to all the departments and you get feedback from them. For example, you know, the e-logistic, they embark on the EDCA analysis. They realize that out of 5 divisions, 2 divisions, about 40 of them, lack of awareness. Then the others were desire. And the one department was knowledge. So when they got this feedback, right, what they did, they customized their change management plan for each of the group. For example, the 2 groups, finance and admin, lack of awareness. So what the company or the change manager did was they had more communication, more engagement from the sponsor to go and talk to them. Okay, look here, the e-logistic is very critical for our organization. It will create our job performance and efficiency in our department. You know, go and explain to them what's the importance of that particular software, all right, particular application. So what I'm saying is that each of the EDCA that shows up in your organization, we can tackle it easily. What is the focus? Why we do this? Because by doing that, you will identify where are these people in the transition. If the person don't really understand why we're doing this, you communicate more to make sure they are on board. This is what we call adoption. The faster they come on board is easier. The sooner they come on board is better. The more they learn about our product is better. That's why you can be on the change initiative. Now, this is a little bit about the project management and also the waterfall model, all right? Kickoff, go live, and outcome, just to give you an overview of it. So the A is awareness and desire, and K is knowledge. The ability, the one I mentioned just now, when you go live, let's say, for example, next week, you're going go live, next week, okay? Next week is what date? Okay, for example, next week, you're doing go live. You can't expect to give training to your staff, isn't it? Many times it's happened. There's one company, I can't remember, I think healthcare industry, all right? They were rolling out this e-medical system, all right? Healthcare, e-medical. How do you use the apps, e-medical apps for the employees, for them to use the e-medical apps to see who are the patients who subscribe for their medicine, what is their profile, how do you assist to giving them the healthcare assistance. So what happened was that they were launching in a very short time, but they did not create the awareness to the people. How important is the e-medical application that works in the company, and whether people like to use or not. The employees, I'm talking about employees. So they were giving training 1 week before they launched the e-medical apps. So that is not the right way of doing it, because you will not see people ready to demonstrate or use the apps for the benefit of the company. That's where people lose it. So they had about 60 people, and only 40 people use the apps, and out of 40 people, only 20 people really knows how to use it. So we are looking at three things, right? How many people are using the new apps once you introduce? How well are they using, and how fast they are using? All right, using it well. So unfortunate reality, okay, to share with you, I wouldn't say I was surprised, but my experience doing change management consulting and training for a number of people, number of companies in this organization. As I said, I also done for companies in Indonesia, in Philippines, and also in Japan. All right, there were a couple of number of clients. They don't really see the importance of having a change management plan to ensure that the people are fully adapted and ready to embrace the knowledge, the change. So normally what they do, they cram everything. Then knowledge training is given before go live. All right. So again, this is a waterfall model. The up and the below one is the agile model. All right. The key point here is that when you go live, when you deploy the system, you must reach your ability stage. All right. I would like to. This would be our last. So far, any questions? I know it's a little bit conceptual, or rather a bit process based. Any questions so far on the EDCA model?
No, sir. So far, so good.
Okay. So anyone else? Is that Satish? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Satish basically already in the senior role in change management. All right. What about the rest? Noria, Rosnita. Rose, are you still driving, Rose? Or Rose no longer here? All right. I think we just have a Fabrian joined us. Hi, Fabrian. Okay. Let me just share with you. If you have seen this, very good. I'm happy for you, because this is a Procy change management 3-phase process. All right. Procy change management 3-phase process. Very interesting. It's a new methodology introduced by Procy. Incorporated. It's a US-based marketing change management research company. All right. Remember, I just mentioned about the triangle. This is a triangle: project success. Everything starts with the project. All right. So don't get me wrong. If I say project, don't think yourself as a project manager. So what I'm saying is that project is a way, or it's a representation of how organizations are willing and able to change to a new environment driven by the challenges that's happening out there. So the 3-phase, just to introduce you briefly, all right? You can get more information, and we can give you some slides on this. Talking about preparing approach, how do you start change management approach? How do you manage the change? And how do you sustain the change, all right? And most important thing is that in this change process, we focus on the EDCA. EDCA, as I mentioned, is the individual change model, all right? So now we look at a bit of the deliverables, all right? Deliverables. Now, when you use this model, right, with the 3 phases in perspective, you'll be able to produce a result. Now, very simple. What result are we looking at? We have a framework to support people to change in the organization. See, the project manager, once you develop the project, he will start rolling it out. He will start kick off the project. But do we know whether our people is ready or not? Do we know whether our people have the awareness or not? Do we know whether people have the desire or not? Do we know whether people have the knowledge or not? Or do we have that understanding whether the people able to use the system once you go live or not? So we don't have this in mind, because we don't really focus much on the people side of the change. Only when you focus that, only when you understand that the outcome is highly dependent on the people changing, that is the importance. So many people will say, okay, I'm doing this project. Project's more important. Yeah, I understand. No project manager, you can do project. All right. But when you do the project and project is being delivered and the project is being executed, you have a system, a new application, a new software, new business model, new technology. But if your people are not using it, then defeats the purpose. It's either you lose it, it's either you use it or lose it, right? So this is a preparing approach. Now, this is just a high level. What I'm saying is that when you want to introduce a new project, when you want to roll out a new initiative, you would want to see if your project is a high risk or low risk, right? I didn't show any details inside. I don't want to show, all right? But I just want to share briefly what are these. What am I showing? All right. This will help you. All right. I think Satish, you have been there in Petronas Digital, right? I think you'll see many people are using this. I mean, when you interact with people in Petronas Digital. Now, this is a tool to tell you the project that you are going to execute in your organization. Does this project is a high risk or low risk? All right. If you say high risk, why? If you say it's low risk, it's why. So this tool, we call it risk grid, will help you. So you have to answer a couple of questions about your company, about the people in the company, about the leadership, about the structure, about the scope. Then you talk about the project itself, whether it's a small project or big project. Is it going to impacting 10 people, 100 people, 1,000 people? So by asking this, by answering this question, you would know whether the people in the organization, are they ready to change? Or the people in the organization, are they going to resist? So is the project going to be a low risk or high risk? So this one project I was doing, it is affecting a very large number of people, about 5,000 plus, and it's over the region. All right. And apparently when I talked to this client, she said that many people in the organization, they are very much resistant. You know, they are very senior people. They already gone through a lot of changes in the past. You know, they already got fed up with all the changes and not very happy lah to go through more changes. So if that's the case, what do you do? So we have a methodology to manage this. Like we will prepare we will guide the organization to come up with a strategy how to manage such situation. All right. That's why we must have a strategy to do that. Now this is about structure. We got a couple of models, but not to worry. This model is not, it's just a series of models that you see sometimes out there in the organization. Let me see. Satish, you are in CM, right? In your project, right? In Petronas, right? Or whether in your previous employment, do you which particular team structure you have seen or you have been experiencing?
Yeah, sorry, so say that again.
I on the screen, right, you can see 4 structure, right? The 4 types of structure. Which one is familiar to you? Better. Which one's familiar to you?
Model A.
Model A, okay. So is it in your previous company or current company or somewhere you have
Right now in Petronas.
Right now,
that's
okay.
model.
All right. So what does it mean?
I mean, what do you mean? What does it mean?
No, when you see this kind of structure, what is your opinion about the structure compared to the others that you see on the screen?
I mean, right now we're kind of integrated right now.
Yes.
Because when I was in AGA, I did organizational change management, right, for 5 years.
Okay.
And here in Petronas is basically project change management lah.
Yeah.
So last time in ACRE, when I was doing organization change management, we didn't have a project manager. Basically, it was myself lah. So I was basically the project manager. I was actually the change manager myself because I was running this employee empowerment program.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So and then but now here in Petronas, we have a project manager. So she takes care of the technical side of it, and I take care of the adaptive challenges lah. So which are basically people. So like I mean like all the things you were saying, like organization readiness, and risk assessments, and stuff like that. So basically, this needs to be fed back, to the project manager, so she can, fine tune her program, because, as like you said earlier, when we are going live, and we have functional consultants who are basically developing the software, right? Because it was actually a project where we were integrating the system, for time right, for time right and it's basically a time right program lah.
Oh, okay.
They were basically implementing this system called Smart into some other system. So basically, it was about the time writing project. So when I did the assessment and the change impact, it was together with the it was together with the functional consultants. But unfortunately, this change management in Petronas, I shouldn't say, but I was not allowed, or I was not encouraged to talk to the employees, because the project manager, she was like, no, this is the change, this is the system which you have agreed upon, and you just have to implement it. So whether they like it or not, they have to use it. So it was that kind of approach.
I think, exactly. Thank you for the answer. Very, very comprehensive and conclusive. It happens in many organizations, Satish. And just to share with you, the structure here. It is not what I'm saying is that these are structures that is being applied outside. There are a lot of challenges, advantages, and disadvantages. There's a benefit of the CM residing in the PM model A. All right, but the model A, the PM is more dominant lah. As you said just now, right? The PM is more dominant, and the other one is that both model B, both of them have equal dominance and visibility, and also the empowerment, and model C and model D, and so on and so forth. Now, what I'm saying is that regardless of what model that you are operating, please make sure there is an element of CM that works together with the PM, right? But of course, different organizations have a different way of getting things done. But again, the key word is that what is the focus, what is the success, what is the objective of our role in an organization, right? That's why I say collaborative, cross-training, shared goal, and complementary discipline, because PM and CM, they complement each other. Anyway, thanks for sharing, Satish. It's a good sharing, right? Change management strategy. Okay, this is the main thing that I always look at. I think Satish will be able to understand better, I think, compared to, the others as well. You can see, we define success. What is the purpose what are we trying to achieve? All right, how people's job will be impacted, and what will take to achieve. All right, this is the first question that people need to ask. All right, as I said, we are talking about accelerating project success. If you want a project to be successful, you need to focus on what are we going to achieve. All right, who has to change the job differently, and what it takes to achieve success. All right, now phase 2, remember the methodology I showed you now. The first one, you prepare strategy. Phase 2, you implement the strategy. All right, and phase 3 is that you maintain the strategy. So these are a couple of plans. I think if those who are doing change management, or those who are planning to do change management, like Aiman, right? Aiman and I think another person, I can't remember who. You are quite new.
I think Nuria.
Nuria, is it? Okay. Are you from same company? Nuria and Aiman.
Yeah, both of us.
Okay, bagus. I think now, since both of you are attending, right? I think both of you will have a common understanding how to approach change management in your organization. I'm happy that you all beginners, even 1 year, 2 years plus, right? It's good for you to expose to such a journey in change management, to see what is really change management, how do you have the strategy put into place to increase the adoption and the usage. All right. Now, this is basically a plan that need to have. Now, many people ask me, Nantha, what is change management plan then? What is change management activities? What is change management competency? All right. This is just to show that the plans, the 4 main plans would be, sponsor plan is, when I say sponsor, right, it's the business leader, all right, the key person that are driving the project, your big boss, in other words, all right. People manager are the middle manager, right? Those who are have direct staff under them, and the activity plans are communication plan and training plan. All right, these are the main plans. When I say, okay, guys, we're going to work on change management activity, change management plan. These are the plans. All right, so I can change it to the competency, but again, look at this as a plan enough. So if anybody asks you, if you were to involved in any change management initiative, these are the 4 plans. You won't run much, all right? Well, you can say, Nantha, decision management plan, coaching plan. Yes, they are, but they are the potential plans, extended plans. But the main plan are 4 plans. Okay. This is a business, big boss, business leader. All right. In any project, all right. Remember, for change management to be successful, to work together with a project initiative, you need to have your bosses to be able to support you and to create the desire and also able to communicate about the project to everybody, right? Communication plan, briefly, you need to know who's giving that plan. Like for example, the e-logistic, right? They got the CEO to come and talk to everybody about the importance of the e-logistic, talking to every employees, talking to them before, I think 3 weeks before the project was launched, all right? And they have a proper communication plan in place to tackle everyone. And they also, remember the 2 particular department was resisting. So they had a very good tactical plan, approach them first, talk to them about the importance of the project, and finally the adoption rate was very high. All right. So this is a manager. So remember, in any organization, all right, one of the, in many organizations, people are key important. Companies always say that, oh, my people are very important. My people are very important. But how important is people to you? All right. You need to have a proper plan to coach them. All right. For example, managers play an important role. So we need to help our managers to become a good communicator, liaison, advocate, decision manager, and coach. This is one of the roles that your change manager would benefit, your people manager would benefit from the session, right? Training plan. This is very common, everyone. Even Aiman, Nuria. So you are since new in change management, right? Now, when I approach companies and organizations and I ask them, can you share with me your change management plan? Yeah, can, sure. We have, Nantha. We have a very good plan. Oh, okay. I'm so happy when they say that. But when I ask their plan, when you look at their plan, it's all training plan. When is the first workshop? When is the second workshop? When is the refresher? When is the FAQ session? When is the face-to-face session? That is not a change management plan. That's only a training plan. You identify what training is required, what is the gap analysis, and how do you prepare training and to conduct for the people, for them to able to learn about the new system. So training plan is not communication plan. Training plan is part of the activity plan in the change management. All right. So this is a summary. If you have, if you want to take photo, you can take lah. Maybe some of you are snipping. The image is fine. But not to worry, we will send you the slides. Okay. So these are the 4 plans that I mentioned and how they drive EDCA. If you can remember, the EDCA is the individual change model. All right. Only when people change, you can see results. Okay. So third one is basically on how do you sustain the plan. All right. Very important. You need to look at how people are continuously applying what have they learned. Okay. Measurement is metrics. I think those who have been doing the change management, or even Aiman, when your bosses, or even Noria, when your boss is asking, okay, Aiman, let's do a change management initiative, and I want you all to come out with the metrics. I want to measure how change management is effective in terms of achieving the result. So these are some of the areas you can look at. Adoption metrics, how many people are using it, how well they're using it, is there any issues and concern, anyone still resisting or not, all right? Employee performance, how they're performing, how's the overall project performance, have we achieved the 45%, the revenue, 20% reduction in the cost, all right? Team effectiveness, is the project team, change management team, and the managers, are they effective in terms of working on a project, all right? So this is basically a timeline, all right? I like this picture because it's quite graphical, but the key point here is that when you start with the project, you begin with the key project events, initiate, all right, kick off. And before you go live, that's where you need to push people. You know the diamond shape? Is it diamond shape? Okay. You know, it's like a diamond shape. That is what change management individual support system. All right. So when you are going to deploy, going to roll out, you must make sure that people are ready. Ready for what? Ready with the awareness, ready with the desire, ready with the knowledge and ability. So if you don't have people ready to use the system, then you're going to fail. All right. So number 3 would be have organizational deliverables, individual milestone, right? So how do we integrate? Remember, results is the first thing. The success. Why are we doing this? What is the outcome that you want to achieve? Number two, talk about people. All right, people must be adopting and using the new system with the new behavior, with the new mindset. Processes. How does project management processes are aligned with the change management processes? Do you want to see how does it align in the tools? All right, this is how you integrate. All right, for the project to be successful, you need to integrate your change management and your project management. If you look at my hand, can you see my hand? Okay, look at my hand. This is your change management. This is your project management. You interlink. All right, and you don't bring it here. So this is where normally happens. Change management comes towards the end. That's not right. You know, that's not right. In many companies, they don't have resources. All right, they always struggle with the budget. So what they do, they get the project manager to do the project and ask him to manage the people side as well. So that's a little bit challenging, no? Not easy. All right, but again, back to the company's resource management, So what are we looking at there? Project management, change management must come together, and you ensure that CM comes, change management is involved as soon as possible. Why? Because the earlier they come, the better they understand who are the impacted people, how they can develop the communication CM strategy to manage that particular situation. Right? So I will not go through in detail, but these are basically the left-hand side is the project management activities, and I think Mr. Maran, I think is quite specialized and well-versed with that. In IT projects, basically, it's used for initiating the project, scoping, planning, documenting, designing solution, and until the architecture solution. But if you look at the change management activities, this is where you conduct the RA. See, unless you realize, you know whether people are ready, right? What is the level of awareness? What is the level of resistance in the company, in the organization? You're not able to scope the project very well. You're going to lose the key people, all right? And you could identify the sponsor coalition. The sponsor means my boss, Department A, that boss, Department B, are they in tandem? Are they building a good coalition for us to work together as a team? Then we look at the resistance. We communicate, we prepare people, we continue. So these are the activities that happens in change management that need to be integrated to make sure that we drive to achieve the results. All right. Now, when do we start change management? Very interesting, huh? Very interesting. If you can see that, right? This is a research done by one of the, as I say, the Procy change management company. They do a lot of research, and one of the research is that the earlier that you do your change management is better. All right. So you look at the initiation, 47%. Look at the closure, 21%. Now, many people, they don't involve change management at the beginning stage. They wait until implementation, then they do change management. Then the people side of the change is lost focus. All right. Now, 2 dimension. Now, these are the how does the CM and the PM works together, and how you can integrate them. Now, communication plan, all right? This is where both of them have to sit down together. For example, there was one project that I was handling with, this is telecommunication, all right? They want to introduce one particular business processes. The project manager was so happy, so excited. He wants to say, he wants to roll out. He wants to roll out, but the change manager was saying that, hey, my people is not ready. We cannot communicate to them to roll out yet. Then when the project manager asks why they're not ready, they don't have a clarity, they don't have a knowledge of how to do the system. So the question comes back again, what have you done to prepare people to embark on the new system? So the communication plan where both of them, project manager and change management, can come down and sit together. Project manager will tell, this is my project charter, this is my communication deck, this is my communication plan. Change manager take it. Oh, okay. You're going to roll out in the month of March, fine. So I'm going to start communicating from January. I got 2 months. Then I'm going to involve the business stakeholders. I'm going to have a kick-off lunch. Then I'm going to have that the knowledge, the training plan schedule. So these are the activities or scope of interaction where both of them can work together. And if you look at 91%, this is similarity. 91% of the communication plan, both it is one of the two. Communication plan is a tool. So a CM and PM can sit together. project plan, they can sit together. So these are the what I call as a research done that shows that which shows that CM and PM can sit together and discuss and work together on this plan, all right, to bring about an effectiveness in their decision. So that comes back to this. So technical side, they have their own processes, their own timeline, and their own expectation to design, develop, and deliver. Change management have their own plans to engage and adapt and use that system. And both of them, when work together, they can facilitate the transition between the current state, transition state, and future state to achieve that success. Remember, everything starts with a reason. When there's no reason to change, why change? You know, people always ask me, "Hey Nantha, why this company got so many? Why this company got so many projects? See, there's a reason why they're changing, lah. Some reasons are very high level, you wouldn't understand, but at the project level, you must know when there's a change. When there's a change needs to be happen, you need to deliver a solution whereby you use a technical skill, and people need to be prepared, adapt to engage to use the system. So that's where success is achieved. All right. So basically, I've covered a bit more. I would say about 10 minutes already now. Is it 4:40? All right. Now, I would like to bring your attention to the last question. All right. Questions to guide your next step on your project. All right. How much of change management does your project need? Depending on the dependence on the people side, and the adoption usage. How will you begin to bring a change management into your project? Understand the business case. What are the deliverables required? And what are the resources I have? And okay, the last one is basically a portal, right? You want more information about the project and change. You can look at that. All right. Now, I've actually covered quite a bit of what is change management, definition of change management, all right? What does success means to you and to me, to the project manager and to the organization. And also I shared a bit more of there. How do you integrate CM and PM to come in having the outcome project definition as a purpose, all right? So I believe that this 1 hour 20 minutes of 1 hour 40 minutes of a webinar would given you a little bit of experience that will fundamentally change the way you look at change management and how you could accelerate the project success with change management capability. All right, good. Thank you so much. I think I would like to officially end the webinar, and I'm more than willing, happy to answer questions, whether from a Q&A or even from everyone at the moment. Okay, good.
Okay, thank you, Nantha. We now you go through the Q&A, and there are a few questions for Nantha. Okay, the question number 1 is from Ruzaimi. With limited budget for CM activities, what are the ways to achieve success in CM?
Okay, with the limited budget for CM activities, what are the ways to achieve success? Now, thank you so much, Ruzaimi. Now, in many organizations, many organizations, I see a lot of CM activities are being planned, but again, the budget is always the cost. The budget is always an issue. All right. Now, when we talk about the achieving success in CM agenda, now you need to know this is called resource management under preparing strategy. Right? Under preparing CM strategy, there is one portfolio called resource management. You need to look at yourself. What are the resources that you have in your organization that can lead to achieve that objective? For example, right? If your objective is to, let's say, I'm not sure what is your company objective. Would you like to share with me your company objective? One objective. I give an example. Rosaimi. Okay, never mind. Rosaimi, CM activities, as I mentioned just now, right? Number 1, you look at the business leader plan, which is a sponsor plan. All right. Number 2, look at the people manager plan. All right. Number 3, look at the communication plan. And number 4, look at the training plan. These are the 4 plans. All right. And these 4 plans requires time, budget, and money. All right. Time, budget, and effort. So these are the resources that you may have. But again, if you have a limited budget, I'm not sure what kind of limitation that you have. Is it in terms of the change management personnel, or is it because money to be spent on the communication, marketing, collaterals? So whatever it is, right? Your change management activities, whatever resources constraint you have, please do not compromise on the communication plan. I repeat here, please don't compromise on the communication plan. All right. So the moment your communication plan is not in place or a lack in your position, it's going to create more or lack of awareness. I repeat here, the awareness is the first element that when you don't fulfill that, you're going to have a lot of problems. Many projects did not fulfill or achieve the agenda simply because the company failed to communicate effectively to the employees. Now, you may ask me, what kind of communication? Yeah, can I just send an email, communicate? Can I prepare a PowerPoint slide and that? No. Communication plan must be properly arranged, whereby you need to have your stakeholder, CEO, to communicate to everybody in the organization. Maybe it's a kickoff meeting, or maybe for Indonesia, they call a comeback. All right. So this is the platform that you create, all right, to make sure that all the employees who are impacted directly are able to experience the message coming from the top bosses. All right, that's number one. Your top bosses must be ready to share this initiative to all employees. He must make himself visible. All right, and that's one communication that's face to face. And number two, and others would be, you need to leverage on the digital communication. It could be a roadshow, a kickoff meeting, or you can have a, nowadays you got a lot of Twitter, WhatsApp, or intranet. Leverage of all the technological platform for communication, right? So your question is limited budget. So if you limited budget, you leverage and utilize on your communication. Don't forget. Number two, on your training plan, all right? Depending on the project that you are developing, make sure that the training is provided so that people know how to use the project, okay? And number three would be your people manager plan. Now, I'm not sure how big is your organization. If you have a bigger population and you have a lot of managers that you need to look into, build their skill set. How do you do that? How do you do that? Remember, your managers are the channels for you to reach out to the employees. Am I right? So what you can do is that train your managers to become a good communicator, a good coach, a good person to hear and manage resistance. So these are the key competency of a manager that you can manage. And the rest would be, you can develop your bosses, your business leaders to be more competent in managing change. All right. Now, there are a few things you can do. There are a few ways you can do in managing the CM activities. But with a limited budget, as I said, focus, don't compromise on your communication activity. All right. Thank you so much. Next question. With lack of resources, can PM and his team members take the role of? Very good question. I experienced this many a times, Mr. Maran. I hope you are there. Thank you so much for the question. In many organizations, again, due to lack of resources, I had this particular employee, right, who is a PM, but he was given a portfolio to do a CM role. All right. When I asked him why, like what Mr. Maran said, a lack of resources. He said the company is downsizing and they are re-looking at their business model, and a lot of processes, they have a lot of business units they have cut off, and they can't afford to get a CM. My question is to Mr. Maran. Now, if the company is very much keen into managing the change, the people side of the change, they should allocate resources for that. But since they're going through that particular situation, shortage of fund, so they leverage the PM to do the CM role. The answer is yes and no. Mr. Maran, yes means the PM, is he capable of executing the CM role effectively or not? All right. So for example, I'm wearing a blazer now. All right. So if I'm not wearing a blazer, I'm a PM now. I'm a project manager now. All right. So now what you're doing is that I'm a project manager, but you're asking me to wear the change manager role. Now, can you see me? Am I using my blazer well enough? Is it properly fit? Does it look nice? Does it look very professional? Yeah, if this is the case, that means the PM is able to wear the role, do the role of a CM very well. That means with a limited budget, it's capable, so good. But that's not the case. Trust me. It's not the case. You know why? Do you know why, Mr. Martin? Okay, two things. Number one, the PM skill set is different. Skill set, I'm not telling the PM project manager only looking at the technical, not think about the people. But the skill set, it takes some time to adopt and adapt. All right. So if the PM is a person who can manage his time, his resources, and his skill in the project and also in the change management, then it's good. Otherwise, it's going to be disaster. All right, because the work of change management is not conceptual. They have a lot of work to do. All right, stakeholder engagement, communication, training plan, coaching plan. It's not easy. All right, but again, if the company is small company, project is a small project, yes, can. Okay, Mr. Martin, the answer is yes. If the PM have the skill set and the capability, number one, CM capability. Number two, the project is small in scale and it is sizable. All right, thank you, Mr. Martin. Any more question? Any more question? Oh, no question. All right. I can everybody? I would like to end the session. If you have any question, you can ask us or you can email us. I pass over the session to Mr. Christopher.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for attending this session today. I do hope you have now better understanding of the topic on this knowledge, and that will assist you in your organization and your change initiatives. So before we call it a day, can we have all of you all to switch on your cameras just to take a group shot?
Yes. I'm more than happy to see everybody. All right. Okay, good. Satesh, you look very familiar. I'm not sure whether I've seen you before or not. Yep. Yeah, thanks, Rosita. Hi, Rosita. Yeah. Oh, Basuki, welcome, Basuki.
Yeah, sorry.
Satesh, you're working from home or in the office? Oh, definitely it's our home, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the rest.
Okay, let's take one shot, yeah? One.
Okay. Smile. Okay, I think I like the way Aiman smiles. Okay, guys. Okay, thank you so much. So thank you so much very much, guys. And please feel free. All right, the field of change management is very interesting. It's a good initiative and journey that you're making. Like Aiman and Nuria, right? You are quite new in this field, right? So be brave, be bold. Don't worry. All right, and it's a long way to go and learn. And the domain of change management is always a dynamic. All right. It's a dynamic and when you're in the role of a change management, the demand is always there. The question is that how are we going to enhance our competency and capability to manage the demand moving forward? All right. So take it as a first level that you are attending this program, all right, as a journey for you to start how to enhance and quantum leap in your career moving forward. But it will take one thing at a time, one step at a time, slow and steady but surely. All right. So you can still communicate with us through email and WhatsApp, and I'm on LinkedIn as well. You can find my name in the LinkedIn, Nantha Kumar Rajendran, and get connected. If you have any question with regards to change management, any question, all right? Take my word for it. Any question on change management, please, you can throw the question in the LinkedIn or email to my colleague Christopher. Okay? With that in mind, thank you so much. I'm so happy and it's my honor to see everybody to share my knowledge, to enhance a little passion, insight, ignite something in yourself. And I hope the little session would create the impact in your career as change management. All right, change manager. Thank you so much and have a great weekend.
Thank you, Mr. Nantha. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nantha.
Bye.